Yeah. So I'm going to call us to order since we're all here at 6:33. And we need to legally take a roll call, Kevin.
Yes. Let's see here.
I'm here.
Director Waslowski, Director Sethi.
Yep.
Director Chow.
Here.
Director Racy.
Present.
Director Bajaj. Here.
All right. And then we have two guests. Christopher Celadon's my guest. I'm probably mispronouncing your name. And we have our usual guest, Jennifer Griffin. All right. Is there public comment for any items not on the agenda? I hear no one speaking, so there aren't any. So we move to item 3, consent items. I move to approve the consent items. I need a second.
I'll second.
And that was who? Nupur?
Yep.
All right. So part of the consent items that we're approving are resolutions and to make this, that'll allow us to continue in these remote meetings. So there'll be some paperwork to fill out on that, but we'll have to vote on the consent item. As I read it legally, I'm not a lawyer, but as I read it legally, we'll have to vote on at least that item E, or resolution number 10142021. But we can do that after closed session.
You could ask if there's public comment or board comment on it now, and then you could vote on the entire consent agenda now if you'd like to.
Okay. So yeah, is there any comment on items 3A through E, especially resolution 10142021? Anybody have any questions? They're as straightforward as legal documents get. So, all right, no questions? No comments? All right, then I'll move to approve the question. And every month we have a meeting, I believe we're going to have to adopt a new resolution in order to continue with these meetings. So I vote for it. Kevin, do the roll call.
Director Sethi.
Yes.
Director Bajaj.
Yes.
Director Chow.
Yes.
Director Racy.
Yes.
All right, that's unanimous then. All right, so now we're legally in session as a result of that. All right, the next item on our agenda, anybody else have anything to contribute in open session? No. Is to go into closed session, which means, at least for me, I know for sure logging out of this item and going on to the other item. And
Public comment first before we go into closed session.
Yes, I just had a question. This is Jennifer. Are you guys coming back?
yes,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So you guys are down to closed number 4, and then you're going to go into deliberations or closed, and then you'll come back and report, and then you have other things at 6. I couldn't see down the
yes,
you have
yes,
other things 6 and
Yeah.
7. Okay. So we'll see you then when you come back.
right. We'll see how long that takes. Yeah, I won't know till we get into the session. I can't even guess. Hopefully it'll be short, but you never know. All right, so at this time being 6:37, we're exiting open session and going to closed session. I'll see you guys on the other side, I hope. All right, so we're back in open session, and we have nothing to report out of open session, I think is what we have to say. Our next item is to review and approve general manager employment contract with the district. Does anyone have any questions about that contract? I realize there are a couple blanks in there, but the contract itself is the same contract we had executed with Kevin several years ago. It just needs updating and extending. And as I said in closed session, I think we should have it go until 2023 at least. in order to give the district the best chance of making it out of the epidemic. Among other, that's just one reason. The other is so that whoever's on the board after the election next year, will have the continuity of Kevin running the district. Because I can't see that replacing our director anytime soon is going to be a net gain for the district at all. So-
Typically, how long would the contract be renewed for? Was it a yearly thing?
It makes no sense to make it just 1 year. We made it.
That's what I thought.
We made it, I think, a couple of years the first time, Kevin, and then because we were only 3 members on the board last year, the decision was made to renew it for 1 more year, and then see if a full board wanted to continue it longer. I would be just as happy with a 3-year term, but maybe that's too long. 2 years will at least get it past the next election, and I think that whoever's on the board at that point, I know I won't be in 2023. We'll have time to judge his performance and see that he's doing great, because that's consistently what he's done in the 8 years he's been our director. So, in my experience, but I realize nobody else on the board has worked with Kevin for 8 years. Not even Nancy has even worked with him for 8 years. But anyway, the other thing, the other blank slot on this agreement is salary, and Kevin's current salary is $107,737.50, and we looked at what, given the he had an adjustment last October. I looked it up. Now I can't remember what it was. It was $3,000 or $4,000. I think it was $3,000. What I was looking at is 3.7% is the amount of inflation from the Bureau of Labor Statistics over the last 12 months, August to August, which is the nearest data we have available. And that comes to essentially $3,986.29, which is only $13 away from $4,000. So for sake of simplicity, I was going to say, okay, a $4,000 increase still puts you very close to $112,000, only $200 away, 200 and a couple more. So I was going to say the simplest proposal would be to raise his salary to $112,000, which instead of being a 3.7% increase is a 3.956% increase. And given the current figures I'm seeing about inflation to come, it looks like that's not unreasonable. Given that we're still losing money as a public entity, it's difficult for me to justify, in my mind, giving him a merit increase on top of basically cost of living. And then now that we're back in open session, Kevin can say what he thinks about that, if he wishes to speak.
Yeah, I think that currently, because of the financial situation, cost of living is just fine by me.
Yeah. Any other comments?
Yeah, that seems very reasonable to me. And like you guys have said, it's with the current financial status, I think that's right in the sweet spot, I think, as an increase.
Yeah.
I agree. I think, thank you. We all appreciate what you do, Kevin, but I think just being conservative because of COVID, let's just go with what was recommended.
Yeah. Misha, Kevin, Chow, anything? All right.
I agree as well. I mean, I think, I like, given the current financial climate and uncertainty, that makes sense. I'd be open to increasing it, but I think just because of the situation right now, probably it'd be prudent to err on the conservative side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no objections here.
Okay, yeah, it's a difficult spot he's in working for a public body. And like I say, we're under the current rules of COVID, we can't seem to break even, you know. So from a public's point of view, I think we risk condemnation by trying to give him a merit increase of any size. So I think the $200 a year for in excess of the 3.7%, like I say, that isn't to me a merit increase. It's the fact that I think energy costs and everything else have exploded in the last couple months. So I think 3.7% for the last 12 months since the last increase is going to be blown out of the water. But I can't read the future any better than anybody else. So, all right. So then I'm going to propose, after I ask Nancy, you work for a government entity too, and I don't know what other government entities are doing in your experiences, but it seems like a logical approach to have a 2-year term and up the salary to $112,000, or basically a $4,000 cost of living increase, $4,000 and change. Do you have any comment on that?
Nope.
Yeah. So, because last year, in theory, when we were all shut down, prices I think were supposed to have stayed flat, and I doubt they did. Everything costs more to do. It seemed like me. All right, so I'll make that proposal, and that fills in the other 2 slots on the agreement. Is there any benefit to going on to a 3rd year instead of just 2 years? I think it gives whoever's on the board at least almost a year of working with Kevin under their belt next time it comes up. And I think based on the positive inputs that the other 4 members gave in a year of working with Kevin, I think that's what's going to happen 2 years from now, is that you'll continue to have a positive, exceptionally positive outlook on Kevin's performance 2 years from now, just like we had today. So I propose this agreement shall remain, Section 1 term shall remain in effect until October 14th, 2023, which should give us enough time for there to actually be a meeting. Because I looked at what day of the week that was 2 years from now, and you'll have had your meeting in October, and it would go into effect the next, I think the next day or a day after. I think the 12th is the second Thursday of the month in 2023. And then $112,000.
Is that your motion, Chair?
That's my motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
Amisha? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion? No. Okay. Any input from the public? No? All right. Then I'll call the question. Roll call vote. I vote for.
Director Sethi,
Yes.
Director Bajaj,
Yes.
Director Chow,
Yes.
Director Racy.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So it's unanimous and it carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you later, Nancy.
I'll see ya.
Thank you for your help.
Oh, anytime, of course. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure it's you under that mask, but I'll take your word for it.
Bye-bye.
All right. So item 6B, review and approve a cost of living increase of 50 cents an hour for all hourly staff members and a 5.3 salary increase for the accounting and records manager and the program manager positions. You've had time to review that. I'll move to approve it. If somebody wants to second it. But
A
Kevin,
second. Nupur.
okay, so that was who seconded?
Nupur.
Nupur? Okay. Discussion. It looks pretty good. Kevin, you got anything else to say besides what you already said on there? I think that we're doing fine. We have to go up because we know that is the minimum wage going up next year too? Is that one of the reasons for that?
Yes, so the minimum wage in Cupertino goes up every January with inflation. Our current minimum is 16, so we would still technically be okay, but we always stay ahead of the minimum wage.
Right. Okay. And I'm trying to get to the right page on this thing. Oh, here we go. I'm hoping that'll be competitive. It looks like there's an incredible labor shortage. Everybody, I keep hearing about it, and you see help wanted ads everywhere. So I don't know whether this is going to be, enough or not, at 50%.
Just to clarify, the 50 cents, it bumps all of the wage structure up for hourly employees. So most hourly employees will not be anywhere close to minimum wage.
Right. Good point. Thank you for pointing out the obvious. Yeah, good one. Yeah. So you said it's expected to add $7,000 in direct staff expense and up to $1,400 in indirect costs. Is that based upon the amount of hours we had this year?
Yes, that's based on the number of hours and then plus the expected amount for workers' compensation and some other things that add on to that.
Right. Well, anyway. Okay, so we're staying ahead of where we have to stay. And if hopefully we're able to open up and serve more people, it'll actually cost us more than that because we'll be paying more people to do more things. So, that's a conservative number. So, and then proposal 2, the salary increase for, again, this is an inflation adjustment. And it's based upon the fact that for the last 2 years, neither one of the other two full-time employees has had an adjustment. Correct, Kevin? Yeah. So you can see now what the inflation has been over 2 years. So I think, again, for the same reasons that we gave you the raise we gave you, it looks valid to give them the cost of living because we're still not making money. I wish, if wishes were horses and beggars could ride, I'd give you all a larger increase because you've worked hard keeping the place open. But does anybody have anything else to say? I think I'm just wasting your time by reiterating what I said before. Any input?
I think it sounds fair.
Say that again.
I think it's fair to give them the same raise.
Yeah, basically cost of living. Right, Kevin? Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to add just on the previous topic of the hourly employees. I think $50 is a good bump just because we were just talking about this, right? Like it's really important that we are able to get staff, and it's difficult if you don't have competitive wages. So that completely makes sense to me.
Right. It may turn out that depending on what happens between now and the main season next year, we might have to bump this again,
Exactly.
for the hour because the outside forces could decide to raise salaries.
Right. I definitely feel like this is the bare minimum, right? Even then, so we'll have to sort of play it by the year, but we'll see.
Yeah. It's a minimum necessary we need to do. Okay. Anybody else? No? Then I'll call the question. I vote for. Does anybody want to vote against? We don't have the lawyer with us right now, so I could just say it's faster that way.
Oh, I actually just noticed, I think Misha dropped off the call.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Well.
I
Well, we
mean,
still have,
We'll still
Yeah.
have quorum, right?
She's joining. She's rejoining.
here she comes. I'll call the question again. Misha, let us know when you're here.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, I called the question for, what the hell is this item? 6B, cost of living 50 cents an hour and 5.3% salary increase for the accounting records manager and program manager positions. Yeah, he's highlighted it there. So you have any questions or comments on that before we vote?
No, I'm all good. Thank you for waiting.
Sure, sure. Well, you can thank somebody else for noticing you fell out again. So anyway, we almost blew it. Okay, so I vote for. Are there any votes against? Are there any abstentions? Then it's unanimous. All right. The next item of business is review and approve an increase in district health insurance plan benefit, which we've all had time to look at also. And I move to, would somebody else like to move to approve it?
Sure. I'll go ahead and move to approve item 6C.
Okay, and then I'll second it. Basically, option 3 makes sense. I think the bottom line that Kevin's gotten with this memo is that it basically increasing our coverage from 50 to 100% for the employees only will cost an additional $4,603. And again, that's about the only benefit health insurance that for the employee that we really provide for our employees. You know, and compared to other employees of other special districts. So it's not excessive. And as Kevin pointed out to me, it's not for a gold plan. It's for the normal silver plan or bronze plan. What is that, Kevin?
It's a silver high deductible plan. So it's an affordable plan, but it is a solid value plan.
Yeah. So bringing them up to the fact that he said that very few districts, actually do the 80% option. Most of them do the 100% option for the employee. It just brings us up to parity with other special districts, in the state of California on that one line, and that's about it. So, any discussion? You guys are quiet. All right. If there's no discussion, then I'll call the question. And I vote yes. Poll us, Kevin. I should have us polled.
All right, Director Sethi,
Yes.
Director Bajaj,
Yes.
Director Chow,
Yes.
Director Race.
Yes.
All right, it's unanimously held. All right, the next item of business is item 7. And no board action needs to be taken on these other items. They're just a first appearance. We couldn't do this last month because legal hadn't had a chance to review 3020 and 3000 and 3025. I noticed the effective date for this was supposed to be November 12th, 2020. And actually our meeting isn't going to be, the second reading is not going to be until the 18th. So that would probably need to be changed to the 19th did you notice that, Kevin, too? For policy 3000, because it can take effect the day after the second reading.
Yeah, also the year.
This would need to change. This hasn't been edited yet. This is the effective date. The revision would be for the 18th.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand.
This is a policy amendment.
Yes.
So this is the effective date of the current policy.
Ah,
And
okay.
then there's the red lining here is essentially what's changed. Although the entire number 5 is new.
All right.
So what has happened here is that there's been some minor wording changes, and then this section 5 is more about signing authority. So the signing authority would essentially take some of it grants authority to the general manager to sign certain types of things, and will go hand in hand with the resolution that we're working on for Wells Fargo. So that's still incoming. So these should all come together in November.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions on the amendment or any of the policies? We still have a month, so if there's any, if there's anything, you can always contact me in between meetings.
The big blank on 3020 is total cost of proposed goods or services procured under agreement does not exceed X amount.
Correct.
And I think as it stands right now, you're limited to what amount?
Yeah, 10,000.
10,000. So, and I could see if we needed a new heater, it would be $25,000 to get that done. So,
Probably more, between probably at most 50,000, but somewhere between 25 and 50.
but you're right. That's the only emergency thing I could see that might have to be approved. And the thinking there that exceeds this, and that would be, yeah, 10,000 seems to have covered every repair bill we've had in the last year or two, right?
More or less, yes. Yeah, there's a few rare things that could happen, but I think 10,000 generally will cover most minor emergencies.
Okay.
From the set that isn't covered under 10,000, are most of them within like the 10 to 15,000 range, or are they much higher?
Probably much higher. If there's something that's going to be over 25,000, then it starts involving some public bidding laws, which are a little more complicated.
Okay.
So if anything was to cost that much, I would have to go to county council and then work out some kind of an emergency authorization for that. And we'd have to do a special meeting. But again, fingers crossed, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. So if this is supposed to be the first reading, I would say, can we safely put $10,000 in there for the second reading of next month?
Yes.
And the effective TBD in 2021 is what is also true of policy 3000, becomes not just November 19th, but after the next, at the next meeting, we give them effective dates, right? Yeah, okay. And then the third item seems to be just a clear delineation of expense reimbursement authorizations. Incurred expenses of the general manager. So,
yeah. There's also going to be a purchasing policy coming in a future meeting, which will cover that emergency authorization that I mentioned earlier. So a lot of these are going to work together to make a really clear picture of what is and isn't authorized and how things should work.
okay. Yeah, I wish that we could come up with language that would involve the lawyers less at $268 an hour, but I don't see a way around it. So, all right. So we had the information. Any more discussion about these items? No. Well, does anybody else have any other items? No. Then I guess it's the next item is adjournment. So, thank you, everybody. I'm glad we were able to get through this. I'm glad, Misha, you were able to rejoin us so quickly, twice. So next meeting, we should probably have quite a bit more to approve, I hope. Again, But we've done a lot tonight. Thank you, everyone. You know, stay safe. And I move to adjourn. I get a second? Do I need a second? Well, somebody give me a second anyway.
I'll second for it.
Okay, so I've adjourned at 7:35.